Exactly.
Um, my question is this: since you're talking about all kind of civilizations all over and not just being put in a box in Africa, you know what I'm saying? So, is there any of our civilizations that you tend to gravitate towards? Like, what is your favorite?
Well, I gravitate towards Egypt. I got a lot of, comedic things in my home, statues and whatnot, little figurines. I like, I pretty much like them all, though. I like a lot of the Asian things, like the Asian cultures. I look into Japan a lot. I like the Angkor Wat stuff. I want to go over there. I like the South American stuff where the Olmecs are and all that. Pretty much all of it. Like even here in America, like a lot of the Native American stuff. When you delve into it, you find out how similar it is to what you already know as being black or African or indigenous black traditions. Like you'll realize that it's really just one. It's really one massive culture that just spread out all over the planet and just manifested itself slightly different in every area you go to. Even if you talk about the Maoris of New Zealand, I mean it's all one culture. You know what I'm saying? It just manifested slightly different in different regions.
I gotta talk about Caucasians because I kind of feel like I'm kind of an outcast in the black conscious community because I do not have hatred for white people. And I
Mhm.
look, when I first started to wake up, I did. I really was angry, you
Mhm.
know. But after you get over the trauma, you start to realize if you really want to grow spiritually, you start to realize that if you have hatred, you end up hurting yourself more than you hurt anybody else. And
Absolutely.
can you what is the solution with Caucasians? Do you know? Because you got people out here, the Black Hebrew Israelites. You know, they're out there. They're saying if you don't go on the street and scream at white people, God is gonna kill you. And you know what I'm saying. Then you got your people. If you talk to a white person, you're Uncle Tom. You know what? How do we? How? What is the solution to interact with Caucasians? What is the? How are we supposed to go off into the future?
Well, as far like okay, myself, I don't hate white people either, Caucasians, whatever you want to call them. I don't hate them. I don't have time, like you know what I mean, to hate, to be hating on them. If I was hating on them all my life, I wouldn't have time to get done the things that I need to get done. Like hate is negative, you know what I mean. It keeps you from doing things. So I don't deal with the hate and whatnot. And as far as like white people or certain white people or what they have done or whatnot, we got to realize that, like I said, everything happens for a reason. And if they are here serving a particular purpose, then actually you have to let them serve that particular purpose. Like, how do we know that the things that we encountered with white people going back to slavery or Jim Crow or whatever wasn't, well, it obviously was supposed to happen the way it did because it served as like a school or like a sharpening stone. Like it made us who we are today. Like it was preparing us to like it was like a fire, so to speak. Preparing us. It's like that coal that it takes pressure to create a diamond. You know what I'm saying? And without that pressure, you're never going to get that diamond. So you're going to never know the potential of what that coal could have been if it hadn't been under that pressure. You know what I'm saying? So as far as like dealing with white people on a daily basis, like if you're a type of person that don't trust white people, then that's cool. Like that's what do your thing. Like you know what I mean? I say deal with people, black, white, or whatever, on an individual basis. You know what I mean? Because yes, there are a lot of white people, real talk, that don't like black people, who only think about the demise of black people. Absolutely. But we can also say that about for people who look just like us. So just like I wouldn't walk outside and trust the average white dude walking down the street just off the strength of meeting them, I wouldn't trust the average black guy walking down the street just off the strength of meeting them because he's an individual. I don't know them. I don't know what they're about. I don't know what their intentions are. So I feel like deal with every person, on an individual basis. Now I'll be lying if I said when I meet a white person, I don't automatically think, have my guard up. I mean, history tells me that I should. And that's just my personal thing. Like I should automatically at least have my guard up. I'm not coming in, all happy-go-lucky, like, hey, this is a cool person until they show me they're not. It's kind of the opposite. Like I'm gonna look like, okay, this person's got to prove to me that they're on the up and up. And until then, I'm just going to keep them at a distance. I'm not going to treat them different. I'm not even going to be rude or mean, like, you know what I'm saying? But, you just take people for who they are, and then, that's where you interact with them, you know what I'm saying? Because they still people, and everybody, whether people know it or not, every white person isn't out there to be against black people. Like, they're just as lost as we are. They don't know what they're doing. Even many of the ones that hate black people don't know why they do. They just following a program that has been put out there for them. So,
Yeah, that's exactly true. And to me, this is a bullet point for the conscious black community, because I feel like if we don't get over this, we're gonna reach a plateau. And I think a large portion of the black conscious community is held up on this because they can't get past the trauma. And I feel like at the end of the day, if we were the first people on earth, we're kind of like the parents, and they would be kind of like the children, because we know we've been here for thousands and thousands of years, and they've been here for a few hundred. So my whole thing is this: if you go into a house and the kids are running amok, destroying the house, who do you get mad at? So this is not to make excuses for everything that the Caucasian has done to destroy our planet. And I'm not here to condone that behavior, but what I'm saying is at some point in time we have to take responsibility for our own destruction. And I think if we continue to not look in the mirror, I think we keep externalizing the devil. Until we see the Caucasian as an extension of us, and use it to grow, to find a lesson. This is what alchemy is. How can we use alchemy with the Caucasian? And I think this is the next step in our growth as black people, to get past this hatred. And I just wanted to bring out that bullet point. But as far as our people, what do you see in the near future for our people? That's one of the things that I see. Is there anything else that you would like to bring out for our people, as any kind of like bullet points that we need to get over for our people to grow to the next level? Because you brought out earlier in our discussion how information and data can only take us so far. What do you think is the next step for our people? Like, where do we need to go next?
I mean, I think we're on the right track. You know what I'm saying? Like, when it comes to the conscious community and people that consider themselves conscious, like I was saying before, there's different levels, and people got into consciousness, and some people got to a particular level or a particular area of consciousness, and, they got stagnated there, and while other people's continue to transcend through consciousness. Like, I'm pretty sure most people, when they, like you was talking about the white thing, when they first became into, consciousness or whatever, and, they was like, yeah, it's the white man, hate the white man, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But then, a lot of us have transcended past the point of, focusing on hating white people to the point of, loving black people and loving ourselves and trying to get ourselves and our families and our friends and our loved ones to a point where we can individually progress. And when I say that, I don't mean like financially, et cetera, but as far as just like enlightenment and overall, living a happy, healthy life and trying to, reach the next level mentally, physically, and spiritually, so that, we can transcend, as along with everything that's going on. So, I feel like, our key right now is to, still focus on self as far as improvement, every day, like not focus on the negativity. Like I said, we don't have to argue with anyone. We don't have to concern ourselves with going around trying to wake other people up. That's a problem a lot of us, deal with. We become enlightened and we want to wake up everyone around us because we love them, and then we don't understand when they fight back so hard and they start calling us crazy and whatnot.
Right.
We have to just like try to stay on our grind, try to become the best we can become mentally, physically, and spiritually, and that's dealing with everything from our studies to our spiritual practices, whatever we do, or, and to our diet and whatnot, and what we're eating and whatnot. And, I think it's about accountability, like getting ourselves together personally, getting rid of that little white man that's inside of our head that's telling us to hate ourselves and to hate our brother, get our families together, start taking care of our family, really taking care of them. Then, that don't just mean going out and making money to feed your kids, but actually being with them and teaching them, and you're enlightened. And so now you have the ability to raise enlightened children so they don't have to wake up one day, so they can live a life, fully awoke. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just about stuff. Exactly, you know what I'm saying? So they never have to wake up, never have to be waking up because they're already woke. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I think it's more about self-accountability, because at the end of the day, we got to realize that we can't save the group. The group, each individual has to be saving themselves. We have to be our own saviors. And so if you have a group of people saving themselves, then, that's your group right there. You know what I'm saying? But I just think it's about self-accountability and, trying to raise ourselves. Because when we do that, we're going to begin to develop better relationships with our brothers and sisters, or better relationships dealing with each other as far as man and woman. We'll stop seeing all of the black male versus black women stuff. We'll be able to develop better relationships and develop better families so that, if the world lasts for however long it lasts, we'll be able to coexist harmoniously in the home together and be able to start building up our community. Then we'll start, doing finance together, and we'll be able to build ourselves back up to a particular point until, we get to where we have to make that next transition, whatever it may be, whether it's supernatural or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Basically, it's about each person has to evolve their own soul.
Mm-hmm.
And
exactly.
nobody can do it for you, and you can't do it for anybody else. I want to thank you for coming to the show. I could talk to you for 2 more hours. You're one of the most interesting people on the internet. I thank you for everything you've done. I would like to have you back one day, and please keep doing what you're doing and know that it's making a difference. And my whole thing is I want to grow. And while I grow, I want to talk about it, and whoever will listen, they can listen. And I'm glad that you're taking that same route. So I want to give you all the respect and appreciation, and so I thank you for coming out.
No doubt. I appreciate you for having me.